The large amounts of copper in chunky EV charging cables are becoming a favourite target for organised crime gangs. We've covered this issue before on the channel, and it's made worse by the awful locations of most charging stations, often tucked away in dark corners of bleak and windswept car parks. Unlike your regular fuel station, which will usually have a store, a cashier, security cameras, and all the other facilities to make filling up a safe process, charging stations frequently have none of that infrastructure. Having to spend an extended period in these inhospitable locations is what makes the prospect of public charging so unappealing, and potentially unsafe for those travelling alone who will need to sit in their cold, dark car for an hour or more. And of course, it makes these charging stations an easy target for criminals looking to make a quick buck from the copper in the cables, creating yet another problem requiring a solution. A problem that never needed to arise in the first place if EVs weren't being forced on us against our will. Welcome back to MGUY, British engineer and lawyer, now Sydney-based YouTuber. If you'd like to support this channel and display your anti-EV credentials to your Tesla-owning neighbours at the same time, why not buy some awesome MGUY merchandise like this mug, this baseball cap, or this t-shirt. Each high-quality item sports the MGUY No EV sign, and they're all made to order. Perfect for irritating the hell out of your local EV zealots. Visit store.mguy.tv or click the link in the description to check out the full range of products. And of course, you can always just buy me a coffee. Click the link in the description or scan the QR code on screen. I've said in previous videos that we're not mining enough copper for the mad net zero plans. We'd need to open half a dozen copper mines a year for the next 25 years to possibly meet the demand. And with a lead time of 10 or 15 years, that isn't going to happen. But at the moment, copper is still quite abundant and is fairly cheap, 10 Aussie dollars a kilo as at the time of this video, although it has crept up in the last month with the Trump tariff wars. But even with that low price, it's still enough of a target for criminals. Just wait until copper inevitably becomes more valuable. It'll just exacerbate this problem. Tesla has already announced it's planning to introduce countermeasures to prevent or at least deter criminals in the future, as this article from February explains. Tesla wants revenge on charging cable thieves. For some time now, EV charging station cable theft has been a growing problem, including at Tesla superchargers. Just like with catalytic converters on ICE cars, the cables are valuable enough to be sold at metal recycling centres and can be removed quickly using a sawzall. But Tesla has a new trick to shame and humiliate anyone who tries cutting through supercharger cables, thanks to a company called Catstrap and its lovely invention Die Defender. Originally developed to be attached to catalytic converters, the stainless steel hose contains pressurized blue dye similar to those dye packs found on valuables in retail stores. As the thief tries cutting through the cable, the pressurized dye sprays out, hitting the thief's hands, arms, face, etc., staining them. This not only is a humiliating thing to endure, it marks the person as the one who tried stealing the charging cable. Interesting idea. And in the UK, charging cable theft is becoming seriously big business. Hundreds of electric car charging stations hit in organised crime wave. Gangs targeting EV chargers force industry to develop anti-theft device. Criminal gangs are targeting electric car chargers, stripping copper from the cables and leaving drivers unable to recharge. Instavolt, one of Britain's biggest charging networks, said over 700 stations had been targeted in a wave that it has linked to organised crime. Incidents have risen from 140 a year ago. The company has been forced to develop an anti-theft electric charger in an attempt to combat the crime wave. Bosses have said the spate of outages has dented consumer confidence in charging stations, affecting electric car uptake. Delvin Lane, Instavolt's chief executive, said that gangs had been targeting stations in Birmingham and South Yorkshire and that cable thefts had become an industry-wide problem. He said that while there was only £20 to £25 worth of copper in a charging cable, it cost the company around £1,000 to repair each station. Thieves have been targeting copper after the price of the metal surged near all-time highs, triggered by companies stockpiling it ahead of new tariffs from Donald Trump. Instavolt, which has the UK's biggest rapid charging network after Tesla's, has developed a cable shield to protect its copper. It's made up of a Kevlar sheath booby-trapped with smart water that allows police to identify criminals. Mr. Lane said it had led to a rapid fall in thefts involving criminals attempting to steal cables using circular saws and hacksaws, although some had resorted to using hydraulic presses to acquire the cables. Will it stop it? No. Will it deter and make it more difficult? Absolutely yes, Mr. Lane said. He said that the company had installed around 250 of its new cable guards, with only one cable successfully cut after having the shield put in place. The shield will be made available to other charging companies in the coming months. Well, jolly good, I guess, but this is like playing whack-a-mole. You create a problem, an EV mandate. That requires a solution, EV charging stations, which itself creates another problem, copper theft, which then requires another solution. Which, of course, will add even more to the cost of charging stations to begin with, which, as I discussed in my video yesterday, actually pushes up the price of regular fuel, as the retailers struggle to recoup the eye-watering expense of installing them. One solution would be to create charging stations that resembled filling stations, with a shop, cashier, security, and all the other infrastructure that makes it a quick and easy experience. But that will never happen without even more taxpayer money, because there's no genuine market for it. It's a fake market created by yet more subsidies and incentives, and the returns won't attract any private investors anyway. Just add it to the long list of unintended consequences that have flowed from governments meddling in the vehicle market. Thanks very much for watching. Really hope you enjoyed it. If you've got any tips or stories, go there. If you'd like to watch another video, go there. If you'd like to buy me a coffee, go there. And please subscribe to the channel.